Hey, cosmic warriors, spiritual skeptics, or just a random confused human. Welcome to another dimension. It's time to sit down with me, your reluctant mystic Michelle, coming to you from the void between worlds to talk about some really interesting metaphysical stuff. Who am I? Just a human who's been thrown into this place called Earth, who has a lot of questions, born with a whole bunch of gifts, but not a lot of answers. So what this podcast is going to do is explore some paranormal mysteries, energetic phenomena, and a lot of FML moments that have you questioning, what the hell are we doing here? So if you're spiritual or you're just really confused, this is the right place for you. So join me if you like riding the waves of the quantum ocean and getting really down deep into the WTF of what's going on here. Because, as I always say, they're legit. There's no way I signed up for this. So if you're ready for a wild ride, let's go. So, yeah, I'm back. It's been a minute. I can't remember when my last recording was, but let's stop bringing up old stuff. Let's start from where we're at. So, energy is coming back into this podcast because I've been directed to do so. And with that being said, the podcast that I was doing on the other side, it's probably going to be slowing down to where my focus is over here. And again, it's because I've been led to, been told to, ordered to, and that's what I'm doing. Being obedient, which is a topic for another episode. But today's episode, we're going to be talking about silence. And no, not the silence that I did on y'all. Like, I know I've been quiet for a minute. But I'm talking about silence from guidance from up above. And I'm starting back up with this topic because I feel a lot of people will be able to relate. And there will be times in our lives where all the prayers and requests that we send up seem to go unanswered. And I've had an experience like that over the past few months. I was going through I guess what you would think of an inner walk. I would not call it a dark night of the soul because it wasn't that, but it was more of a situation where a lot of things were coming at me and I had to make quick decisions based on my core values. And we've talked about core values before where, sometimes you have to just rely on what you know is the right thing to do versus how you emotionally feel at the time. So a lot of things were coming at me where those types of decisions had to be made. And over the past month or two, when I would go to God for guidance, I wasn't hearing anything. Now, I could still give guidance to other people. I could still pick up on things to inform other individuals. But when it came down to me, I heard nothing. So I was like, well, I was like, am I broken? And not broken as in the sense of a hurt, but more of like, have I not been using my gift in the correct way, and now it's being modified, altered, reduced, taken away? But then I was like, no, it can't be that because I'm still able to provide support, guidance to other people. So this is just something specific to me. So I went through the past month and a half with nothing. I would get crickets. And I did all the things, right? You do all the things. You meditate. You get really consistent with your prayers. I even went and sat in churches, like I need help. I need guidance. I would get nothing. That didn't stop me though from doing the prayers. That didn't stop me from getting on my knees at the altar. That didn't stop me from doing all the things, lighting candles at the church. That didn't stop me from doing all the things. It was more of like, okay, I'm going on faith here, because I don't know if it's me. Maybe I'm just closed off, because I can't use my relationship with God as something to look at when I have a relationship with other people. I've had people walk out on me, choose not to talk to me or deal with me because they did not agree with the decision that I've made, even though they don't understand the reason why the decision had to be made. Many times in my life, I might not agree with the decision, but there's an obedience attached to it because I'm directed to do certain things. So that could be forgive somebody, that can be work with somebody, that can be speak to somebody in different spaces, but other people don't understand why I'm doing this, so they just, write me off, which, we're all human. We all are entitled to make those decisions. And I can't use those examples with my relationship with God, because I'm like, God's not going to write me off. And I've been being obedient. And that was the thing, right? It was like, I've been doing the hard things. I was doing the hard things. The things that the flesh did not want to do. The things that my logical mind did not want to do. The things that my emotional response was opposite of what I've been told or led to do. I was doing the hard things. So I was wondering, why am I not getting guidance? So a month goes on, another month goes on, and more things come at me. Hurtful things, right? Not just, I forgot to put gas in the car and frustrations like that. Hurtful things. So even in the silence, my faith still led me, to the all-knowing. And even though I wasn't getting anything back, I was still asking and requesting help and everything else. That didn't stop. So before I get to the next part of the conversation, it's more also to giving individual support to say, keep talking, keep praying, keep meditating, keep doing the things that you know are the right things to do. So as I go on through the situations, and another big thing happens, but I stay on course. The emotional part of me didn't want to deal with it. The logical part of me didn't want to deal with it, but I know what I was directed to do before I got radio silence, before radio silence hit. I know what I was directed to do, and I know what the responsibilities were. So I stayed on course. And with that came another level of understanding. So I did the hard things. I did the painful things. I did the things that I knew I was supposed to do based on what I was guided to do and led to do before everything went quiet, right? So I did the things that caused me additional pain. So still, in the space of why am I not getting direction? Why am I not getting guidance? Are just indications that you are hearing me, that you are listening to me. So I come home from doing the painful things, right? While I'm coming back to my home, I'm thinking, I'm praying, and why aren't you saying anything to me, right? I go to bed. The next morning, I wake up really refreshed, extremely light, and then, oh my goodness, it seemed like having to make up for all the lost time was occurring, because I just started getting messages, back to back to back to back to back. So while it was overwhelming, I was saying, okay, I'm not broken. Like, I didn't screw something up, because here it is. It's back. My guidance, my conversation with God, my back and forth that we do, it's back. So I said, where were you? Like, why weren't you talking to me? Where were you in these times where I needed guidance, where I was confused, where everything was riding on decisions that I had to make in very quick successions? I was needing help. Where were you? And the message that I got back was, the teacher is always quiet during the test. And I was like, okay, more context, please. Like, I get that. Right, it's very specific, very detailed. The teacher is always quiet during the test. You were given everything that you needed to make these decisions. And it's one thing to say you're ready to take on assignments, right? It's one thing to say you're ready to step in to these locations where you have to be the spokesperson for this energy of the all-knowing. It's one thing to think you can do this. And when you're doing it for other people, yeah. But when you're doing it for yourself, it's so important that you have faith in your decisions. And so sometimes the silence is just allowing you to exercise those muscles, right? To say, I have faith. Let's see you actually use it, right? I have faith in making the right decision. I have faith. But then going back to, oh, are you sure? Am I supposed to do this? Or is this the right thing? You had everything you needed to make the decision, and you did it. You did it. Congratulations. Hand claps. I'm going to throw a beautiful moon and full moon in the sky for you to see. I'm going to even show you some fireworks, because there was an evening where fireworks came up, and when I was driving, and it was weird, because people don't celebrate with fireworks for Labor Day, and it was not even Labor Day yet. And I saw them, but other people didn't. And I'm like, I felt peace. Finally, like, after all those, those months and those weeks of silence. So this comeback of innocence is just to give support to people who might be in a space right now where they're not getting anything. They're not hearing anything. It feels like you're not being seen. It feels like you're not being heard. It feels like you're out here on your own. But the message that I received, again, the teacher is always quiet during the test. And maybe, just maybe, you're going through a process where you're about to ascend into another level, and we just need the opportunity to do the things that we are taught to do. We need the opportunity to utilize the faith that we are taught to have. Because it's one thing to say you have all the things, the tools, the resources, the faith. It's another thing to actually use it. So, always remember that just because you're not getting responses, or you feel you can't hear anything, or you're not getting anything, does not mean you have been forsaken, or the back has been turned and you're out here by yourself. You're not. But it's probably the time for you to put into action what you have spoke about, what you have done, what you have been taught, and just stay the course. And I think the takeaway for me was, instead of just stopping, right, what I was doing, instead of just falling back into ego, instead of just getting emotional and everything else, I just stayed the course. And I had faith and trusted that what was laid out for me before the radio silence happened what was laid out for me was still for me. So just stay the course. And that's my wrap up piece for this. Stay the course. And you could be getting input from other people, right? People who have their emotional responses to whatever is going on. But you know what your relationship is with whomever. I use the term God, but whoever if you want to say universe, higher power, you know what your relationship is. Stay the course, fall back on faith, and I guarantee you, when the messages start back up, it's a whole nother caliber. I've been getting information from the time I woke up that morning where everything opened back up, and it's been steady, it's been consistent. It's one of the reasons why I'm back here on this podcast, because it was a directive. So your obedience will be rewarded. And sometimes being obedient freaking sucks. Sometimes being obedient, you lose friends. Really, really good friends. Sometimes being obedient puts you in places where you have to say things that are uncomfortable and do things that hurt. But the outcome and the big picture is worth it. So stay the course. Keep the faith. Be obedient. And it all makes sense in the end, right? So, what to expect moving forward as a part of my obedience is consistency over here with directed topics. I already got the next 7 episodes that were given to me. So the YouTube channel is going to be coming back with different things as well. Yeah, as I always say, right? There is literally no way I signed up for this. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next episode.